Speaking of amazing, here in Revelation 21, to me this is like key. This is the key. Revelation 21, it appears that in the end, when the new heaven, the heavenly city, New Jerusalem, it descends from heaven, it appears that heaven and earth, in the end, they become one. So heaven comes down to earth, and heaven and earth are joined together as one. So I think this is the key to understanding the nature of heaven and what it is and maybe even where it is. Heaven and earth become one. Because for the past 6,000 years, there has been a separation, right? So if you go back to Adam and say that's about a period of 6,000 years, heaven has not been here for at least that long. Was it here originally? Well, where was Adam in the beginning? Well, he was in the Garden of Eden, which is also called what? Paradise. Okay, so it's possible that heaven was here on earth or tied together to the earth in the beginning. Adam sinned, there is the separation, and then at the end it's put back together. Is that a new thought for some people? That's not the way most people think of heaven. But I think that is key. Look at Revelation 21, verse 1. And I would say, I don't want to say take all this with a grain of salt, because we are reading the scripture, but I'll just say I can't really be dogmatic on a lot of this. I'm doing the best I can putting the pieces together. Revelation 21, verse 1, John says, "Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no more sea. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, 'Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God.'" So the Bible ends with an indication that the heaven and earth become one. So I would describe this as a return to Eden. Okay, a return to Eden, so to speak, because the Garden of Eden is considered paradise. You remember in the garden, because here at the end, God is dwelling with man. Well, isn't that what happened in the beginning? Remember, God walked in the garden in the cool of the day. So God dwelt with Adam in Eden, in paradise. But when Adam sinned, everything changed, or everything was altered. Adam was then removed from the garden. He was not allowed back in. And over time, I'm just going to put it this way, that the path, remember God set the angel with the sword of fire, the sword of light, to keep Adam and Eve out of the garden. So, that was here on earth, an angel guarding the path back in, but could you travel to the Middle East today and maybe stumble across that path to No, obviously somehow that was taken away or disappeared, however you describe that. So it's no longer here. So if there is a connection between heaven and earth, by now it's been completely severed. So heaven, one theory is that it's totally apart from the creation. It's always existed somewhere else. Another theory is that it has always, or it was originally intertwined with the earth. That link was broken, but in the end, it gets restored. The heavenly city comes down to earth, paradise is restored, and heaven and earth are then forever joined together, and that's the way it was supposed to be originally. So originally, Adam talked with God. Adam had fellowship with God. Do men have fellowship with God today? No. Everyone's born into this world dead in trespasses and sin. You have to be born again to have any fellowship with God. But even the fellowship that the most righteous Christian on earth, the fellowship that person enjoys with God, is still falling far short from what was intended originally. But in the end, that gets restored. So when Adam sinned, that fellowship with God was completely Well, at first it was broken, and then when God shows up, remember Adam, he ran and he hid. He was afraid. He realized he was naked. So before it says that Adam and Eve didn't know that they were naked, and they were not ashamed, but then they realized it. So something happened with the way they saw the world. And again, maybe this is speculation, but I think that originally Adam was aware of spiritual things. If an angel came in the garden, he would have seen it, but after the fall, after the curse, Adam and all of his descendants, us, we have become spiritually blind to all the things around us. Maybe even the heavenly realm. It's a lot closer than most of us think, but we're completely oblivious to it, right? We're blind. We do not see it. I base this on the story of Elisha. Remember in 2 Kings chapter 6, there's Elisha and his servant, and they thought they were outnumbered, and Elisha prayed, Lord, open his eyes. And what did he see? All of a sudden, he saw that the hills were filled with chariots of fire. They were surrounded by the heavenly army of angels. So the point is, it may be that heaven is not as distant as we think. It might be just another realm, another dimension that really is all around us. We just don't see it. It's not 50 million miles away in outer space. In a sense, it could be, I don't want to say it's here because it's not here, but you understand what I'm saying? Okay. This could explain how Jesus, after he was raised from the dead, after he was glorified, Jesus could appear and disappear at will. Remember in Luke 24, the two men on the road to Emmaus, Jesus appearing in the upper room, like the doors are locked, it says that, and Jesus is like, here, and may peace be with you, right? And then next moment he's gone. He didn't have to travel 80 million miles in that direction to get back to heaven. He was just in and out, in and out. So that may be, and please give me a little grace with this, okay? But if I use the term interdimensional travel, I mean, that sounds like sci-fi or something. It's like, well, that doesn't sound biblical, but I don't know. That's the only way I can really describe it, because he was here and then gone, and that seems to be maybe what's happening. Either way, that is, I think that concept is more biblical than the song that I was taught in Sunday school. I don't know how popular this song was. Countdown, who knows the song Countdown? Junior church, yeah. Somewhere in outer space, God has prepared a place. Well, wait a second. Is heaven, is this place, is it really in outer space? And on the front of the book, there is like a spaceship or a space shuttle. Can you really get on a space shuttle and fly somewhere in outer space? And if you go far enough, you'll get to heaven. That's not the way it works. It is somewhere else. I'm going to use the term another dimension.